What's up, everybody? This is the poker coaching study session, and today we're looking at a big blind defense against small blind raise at 30 big blinds. Check again. Oh no,
Yeah, it's the best action.
what are we doing here?
I think it's a unique spot because of the gut shot we are having, so we can kind of like mask our bottom.
So
Two
when we
pair,
get
that's
here,
a
we
value
need a
bet,
four
right?
straight and a
Drop
flush,
a
but we have
five.
to value the pair. Yeah, because we're
Checking
so
again.
wide.
Drop a five.
I would
Some of
actually
them
have gone
would-
like
it's
7
worth a
there.
ton. It's worth a ton.
Ooh, the floor. Hit the floor. I'm
So
calling.
yeah, I'm folding.
Old,
Is this not the floor?
maybe Jack 7, Jack
No.
8 for
No, but you
sure.
see if it's gonna play it, if it's the worst, then it's gonna use it as a raise a little bit. Jack 7 really. Yeah.
Oh, it's the floor.
Offsuit sevens.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was like. So like a few days ago, when I woke up, I was suddenly thinking, like it was one of my first thoughts. I was thinking, why am I playing like the single raise spots, almost like limp pots, and I'm doing it wrong. And I started to like go into this train of thought, and I'm like, man, I need to look this up.
do we raise or do we call?
We fold.
Fold.
Yeah, we fold.
We call the low offsuit king rags, but not the offsuit queen rags.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the important, and this is very important part. So you today I watched like I did like 15-minute sims or stuff and watched some reports. So let's say the flop is 7-6-6 in limp pot. The advantage is on the big blind heavily. We check from the small blind a lot, but when we're on the single raised pots, actually the small blind is betting almost range. And that's just the illustration how different these spots are. So guys, really think about this limp pots and against the raise spot. It's very, very
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, if small blind limps, they've already folded out like their worst 20% of hands, and when big blind fails to raise, they've cut out like their top like 50% of hands almost. That's a hugely capping action from big blind to check back when small blind limps.
Maybe don't edit the range because like the folds are important still.
That range was reasonable. That gives us some stuff to play with.
A6. Oh my goodness. I would fold. Which offsuit ace do we call?
Yeah, I like
Like-
folding now too. I like folding.
I think we
too.
saw the theory range a minute ago. It was like ace 9 off, right?
Ace 9, ace 10?
Look how different. It's so funny. A7 suited was like instant calling 100%.
Yeah, but it's calling the flip. Was my point. I put it in Equilab. It's a break even call. So like A7 suited ain't great.
It's the argument like when you're tilted, you can call.
It's just gonna show us the threes every time. That's just all he's jamming here. That's what I mean. Like that spot to me is just dumb. It's not really a thing.
Especially
Yeah,
since
I agree.
he keeps
It's not
ripping,
low
like
risk.
he ripped like, I don't know how many times.
He was ripping ace 9 off, I think, too.
Yeah, it was ace 9 too sometimes.
Fold.
Okay, what if we had spades?
Oh, man, I mean, spades, this makes a decent like click back, like small raise.
Yeah, I call one with all my backdoor flushes probably the fold.
So
bit.
let's
Kinda
think
look-
about the range. It's very interesting to see where the folds come from. That's the key question here, I think.
Clubs
And
for
I don't
sure.
know.
Stuff like without backdoor straight draws, without backdoor flush draws. So like we're gonna fold the offsuit branch a lot more. If this was offsuit has no backdoors, this one also no backdoor flush. I think
This
we're like calling
particular,
most king highs, most queen highs. Yep.
Yeah, I think this one is like, oh, okay, very nice.
It's not all MDF, but a quick gut check is you can tell yourself, I need to call like what, 75, 80% range here, which is not
What?
perfect, but gives you a gut check about if you're
Oh.
folding way too much or way too little.
Where's
Call
the
a
gun
lot.
check
Wow.
with 10-9?
Called a lot more than I thought.
Yeah,
Why
that's-
calling with 10-9 of clubs here? Cause I mean, I could find a
Overcards against,
defense with
it has
all-
overcards against his against his 9 high, 8 high, 7 high, 6 high. Like 10 high is showdown value and it draws out against lower cards
So-
and dominates some of his.
Louis, can we see the aggregate report? General, just to see if we need to call so wide.
face
one of the
different
fine,
bets.
one
You
of the,
gotta be
it's
able
not
to-
even with, it's not only with that spot, it's a
Yeah.
thing in like blind play, you actually like fold like 15-20%. It's like really common to like, you really don't have much folds, but you need to like know where the folds come from and stuff.
I think the most important thing is being able to find the
Yeah.
plus on future streets with shit that doesn't have really any value.
All over the place.
I mean,
And also,
and I kind of disagree. Like if he's betting his theory range, it doesn't all come from us finding bluffs on future streets. If he's betting a lot of 8 and 7 high here, then 10 high is just good. Like we're just calling for value. Like we just have odds. You're gonna turn a straight draw sometimes, you're gonna turn a 10, you're gonna turn a 9, and like that's enough against a tiny bet.
Crazy, right, Louis?
what about the stack dips? Can we just switch to
I mean,
so
deeper
Give yourself
stacks?
like a gut check. Let's look at his betting range. Like I'm sure he's betting, some like stuff that wraps around the fives, some real garbage stuff.
Yeah, makes sense.
The one thing I noticed right away, monotone boards don't have a raising range in position. So if we flop monotone, there's no raising at all.
Louis, can we
Um,
remind ourselves of how wide ranges are here by looking at his betting range?
It's also makes sense to look up like what small blind is also like doing, like what if you look the small blind report, it's like very
Yep.
interesting to see like there are like some shitload of like pot size betting and stuff.
Because like even if he flips his cards over and shows us ace queen, like I'm willing to draw against ace queen, like in position.
so because of the big blind raise, like his best ace is pre-flop every time, like ace king, ace queen. Ace jack offsuit. The small blind really has a huge advantage on ace high board. When the pot is single raised.
Yeah. And it's also like the smaller cards are like, it's the exact opposite
The
to
limp
the like
pot.
limped pots. Yeah, it's like the exact opposite. Like the smaller cards are better for the small blind because we raise these as the small blind, and the big blind doesn't call the like the bottom parts like we just saw. Like we are folding like 6x, 7x some. It's crazy. That's why I wanted to see this so much, man. This is.
So on the right here, you got limp pots. And on the left here, it's when the small blind raise. So you see different strategy on ace high board. Right? Ace high board when you raise, a lot better. When you limp, I mean, overall, we are checking 80%, whereas
In limp pots,
when
there
we
are much
raise-
more checking.
When we raise, we bet now more often than not. It's 55% betting.
Yeah, there are even some boards that we're betting like clear range, like full range. There are no checks almost.
Alright, so ace high still very favorable. So we bet a lot more often when we raise, basically.
Kind of makes sense. It's a polarizing action. So the small blind still has that polarized range on flop, and they continue to bet a polarized range.
That's
Okay.
small blind strategy, right? Both are small blind, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And also because Jack 5-5, like other board textures will interact with the ranges more, but it's hard to hit Jack 5-5.
Yeah, look the 9. Look also the 9 was like there. It's like also very interesting to think about the bottom. Like the big blind's calling, bottom is like 8s and 7s stuff. Is Louis
Alright.
writing secret notes?
So, I'm just trying to figure out because I filtered by the highest bet two. Now it's like ace, deuce, queen, three are kind of the best high card boards for out of position. But what we really need to look is when we either face a bet or a check. So here we're gonna face most likely a bet. Facing a bet, what do we do? Is there a? Whereas here facing a bet. It's gonna be a one bet. So flop, bet one. So this is a big blind's response. On the right here, we got the limp pots, and on the left, we've got the raised. Small blind raise, big blind call.
They are not filtered the same.
Let's filter them back. Oh. Looks like I messed it up. I did.
No, the other one though just got buried behind this one.
I mean, this one.
No,
Yeah,
it seems fine. It seems like everything's in order.
Almost. It's just a bunch of low cards everywhere. Alright, do these reports.
But the folds are very static. That's also very important to see. Like folding
No.
percentage almost always the
So,
kinda is shame.
no,
yeah,
no
what I
raising when
wanted
it
to
was a
see
limp pot.
basically, no overfolding, no. Not much is going on. Choose board first.
No raising either in the limp pot, right?
No big sizes used. Like it didn't have any blue. So somehow, why do we need to call here again? Cause we
In
folded an
order,
8 of clubs.
in order when he checks the turn, we just stab the turn. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, again, it's thin, but I think it just has showdown value. It just has value.
I think
Nah,
you
I don't
gotta
think it
bet
has
this
showdown
now.
value.
We're too exploitable if we just bet or if we just fold this much of range.
If we start folding so much, then we are just printing to our villain.
Alright, so what's the best turn for the big blind here?
When they check, I think we just gotta bet. That's what I mean. Like, if you're gonna call super wide, you gotta get your bluffing shoes on.
Probably like a
Everything?
king.
There's nothing like super great. They're all just kind of meh.
Mid cards though, looks like. More
Yeah,
mid
they're a little
cards.
better, but it's not like a big spike that says, oh, this card's great for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, I agree. Yeah, but
Yeah, 9 and 8 is good.
What
yeah,
you
sort of the 10
can't
to
nine
6
say
range.
though is like the ace. Not so good. The 5, not so good. The jack, not so good.
Yeah.
Basically, the king is more
The
valuable
board
than
or
ace.
the- We don't have anything good here, basically. So we can't really say, okay, this is a king. King's good for our range, let's bet it.
No, it's not good for our range, but will be good for some hands. And this hand just picked up a
I
gut
think
shot.
we
Like,
have to, I think we have to bluff after he checks.
Why?
I'm bluffing. We got a gutter.
I don't know
We're
about have
going
to,
like
but I mean, having a
6.
bare gut shot and crappy showdown value, I'm thinking about it.
You pick up equity on the king.
I'm
Maybe it
looking
goes
at
9.
basically the nuts. That's pretty awesome.
So yes, we picked up equity with the queen.
I
And
like
yeah,
checking
if
back
he has
here.
like some kind of Imagine he has like a 7 of clubs. A 7 of clubs is not excited to see us bet this turn, is it?
Even though if he's not betting now, I mean,
How are
yeah,
we
I could
gonna
see it
stand
both
it?
ways.
Pocket
I would see it
sevens,
both
like
ways.
his pocket sevens, is that excited to face a bet here? Those are the kind of hands where you want to polarize against, I think.
We're
If it
gonna
was
wanna bet
against
here
blind,
because we flat all the kings, like when he bets the flop. We don't fold the king, so we don't
Exactly.
get to not bet here.
Yeah, we're calling king 8, we're calling king deuce, we're calling all of it. Yeah.
If it wasn't a paired board, I'd probably go 9, but I think I'll go 6 here.
6 or 9 seems reasonable.
So you guys calling king deuce of clubs here on this flop?
That's what the
Yeah,
strategy said.
you don't fold
Strategy
king
said
high,
you
it's
start to
good.
fold some trashy queens, but really no trashy kings. You called every single one of them. Quarter pot bet man in position. You gotta find calls.
But a paired
These
board,
diamonds probably are a bit better for us in a range-wise scenario too, because our calling range is narrower than the small blind open.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we do have clubs here, which kind of sucks, but.
Yeah.
we're still blasting.
So. Yeah,
So
the
I can
range
see
is
it
to
like
go
both
6 a
ways, like-
lot. Let's go
One thing
6.
you can figure out from this graph. If we bet, it's
6.
gonna be pale blue.
Yep.
Right? So at least we got that. If we decide to double barrel, it's gonna be a 6.
Oh, wait,
I think the king
barreled?
qualifies because we're gonna get better combos to fold, maybe. And then we pick up a little hair of equity, so maybe this is a good bet. Let's see. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
we didn't, this isn't a double barrel, Louis. You
No, I
want to
know,
see that call.
I know, but like
Okay,
in general, when I'm looking at betting turn, I'm thinking about the nature of the turn and whether I pick up equity with a portion of my range with it or not. I already think about that.
Yeah, I think it's very good in that sense that he did, like, he can easily bet the king and he did, so that's also a factor, I think.
What the heck? So he check calls turn and then he donks at us on
Now I
river?
block.
We have nothing. I think we just have to let this one go.
How about all in?
My
No.
first thought was all in, but then I quickly realized I think it's probably awful, so I'm folding.
yeah,
It's really, I can see all in, but I'm like
Like it-
he has so many fives too still.
we blocked some combos of jacks.
If the villain here is Galen, you should not go all in here. Okay? But if it's not Galen, you can just shove, no?
I would, just for the record, I am highly offended right now.
Good. I
I
can't see.
mean,
you just
clubs
did
might be the
all,
most
'cause
popular combos, cause
Check,
you,
check,
you
check all
unblock
the
the
way and
floats.
then. that's good, you
I
have-
mean, I don't know, dude. The solver might actually do some crazy stuff here, but I feel like if you do this in game, you're probably just lighting money on fire.
Yeah, I'm out.
You
Yeah,
guys
just
wanna
the
fold.
Suing Louis is hard because he's in Mexico, you know.
See,
It
that's
actually calls some. Look at this. Look how indifferent. Look at that. It's wild.
the worst call in the universe. Is
Well,
that
he's
it?
bluffing like, 8 highs,
Ripping wouldn't be the worst thing here.
He just had
8
it.
high, 7 high, 6 high bluffs.
He just had the high house,
Easy call.
Just
just the high house. Okay, so
Easy
yeah,
call with 9-4 suited.
is there any suited ends we fold?
No.
Yeah, there were
No,
like,
no, not
there were, like,
really.
deuce suited. There was
Maybe,
like 8 deuce, 7 deuce
Maybe-
suited. Like, that was about it.
Yeah,
that's what I was about to say.
Maybe-
Maybe your suited deuces.
there's
maybe.
two.
Yeah, and maybe in PKO nodes when we are like heavily covered ourselves. So, but
I think that's an
in general, no.
outrageous bet size.
We just give up against the size. We have nothing to prove
you?
against the sizing.
Well, actually, you're right. It's the sizing. I was gonna say like, this is an attractive combo to continue with, but he's
Yeah, I'm
he's loaded
thinking
for
about
bear,
call
man.
here.
Yeah, he's
I'm
loaded
thinking
for
about call
bear.
here.
Yeah, if we just take any action with this hand, we're bringing a knife to a gunfight.
I gotta have the front door
Pretty
flush to call.
much.
And the back door is worth almost nothing at this SPR anyway, so who
Yeah, I'm not
cares?
calling it back door.
Yeah, I think if this was 60
Whoa.
big blinds, we might be able to do something.
I mean, 60 we're for sure calling, I think.
So we have
Maybe
a
30,
9-4 of hearts here. And then we wanna see the, so first, if he,
Can you look against the small bet?
first, what kind of
The small
shenanigans?
bet's obvious, Romano. I think you definitely continue.
Small bet is non-existent here.
Oh yeah, because the board sucks and he's polarizing already. Yeah, he's like,
So it's just gonna bet 6 into you or 2, but it's really. Okay, and then against a big bet like this, we just continue with spades. We don't need any hearts. I had like king 10 of hearts continuing, right? Okay. So we need overcards to the 8 to continue with hearts, like king 7 is not doing it, but king 9 is.
That makes sense, because some of his value range for taking this big size is gonna be like vulnerable 8s and low overpairs like pocket 9.
look these jams. Look these jams. These jams are crazy.
Nah,
Okay,
not when you're this shallow.
Yeah, I understand, but like in theory, like to think about other situations that we
That's
are
what
learning,
Michael
like
said.
it is very
Yeah, I just learned
aggressive,
Jack
right?
Suited as a squeeze from Preflop Academy. They have some good content. Shout out to Preflop Academy.
You're
Good job.
jamming all your 8s and then your high equity bluffs over cards with flush draws, basically.
Yep,
And
like
even
high
some
low
straight
ones
draws.
especially.
that's probably because of this 6 and 3 are so good for the small blind, and we don't want to take it like post flop any away with such a strong hand like 8.
Small blind isn't limping the 2s and 3s.
No, we're not limping. He's opening with these. That's the thing. It's the bottom of his raises, and we don't have these. That's
Small
why
blind
this
still
board
open
suck.
folds small blind open folds the bottom of their range. The two, the
Yeah,
also
some.
2s and 3s, they don't play hardly at all.
Yeah, some, but they still like, the point is they have it and we don't.
It's a funny node, right?
Yeah, I'm with Ken now. They don't have many more 3s than we do.
Yeah, we got the king, we defend king 3 off, king 2 off, queen 3, like the jack, I think we start folding like the offsuit jacks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
agree.
the
too.
6,
Pre-flop, if anything, it neutralizes the range difference. We come in pre-flop from calling with a weaker range, but this flop helps us catch up to some extent. Big blind does okay on this flop.
I don't think
So,
people really bet a big like that. in-
thank you.
I mean,
That's what I was
I am,
about to
man.
say. That's what I was about to say, Louis. Like, how many times this month have you guys played 30 effective blind versus blind and faced a pot size bet on the flop?
Yeah, never.
Like, I don't think I've played this node maybe more than once, maybe twice this entire year. And
Yeah.
like, I play a lot of poker, you know? That's what I'm kinda like wondering about.
Yeah,
people suck on small blind.
Pocket 3s every time.
this is a call.
Doesn't
Yeah.
this mix a bit?
Do we have a racing range here, like
Suited stuff.
bluffs
We
and?
definitely have a raising range. I think it's some trashier stuff in what I call the diamond. It's like king 7 off and stuff in that vicinity.
We don't, yeah, king 7. Hmm.
King
Nothing
6,
suited.
okay. Yeah, it's the
Oh,
lowest.
okay.
It's the trashiest stuff on the offsuit side.
Yeah, so the bottom of our offsuit hands pretty much.
It was pretty off. It's king like king 4 off, queen 6 off.
Feels
Yeah,
bad.
bottom.
Super interesting though.
Oh, what was the raise size? Was it like, 9.5?
It was
Yeah, it was
4, I
9.
think.
9.
9, okay.
Gonna have to call here. Oh, he bet 6 again. Hmm.
Yeah, I
Man,
think
I don't
let this
know.
go to 6.
Alright, yeah, 0 EV. Okay.
We just call. What about?
No,
check?
No.
I'm
We're
just.
raising or
calling here.
jamming.
Either
It's a
raise or
call.
jam.
No,
Yeah, we're gonna
no,
raise
no.
or jam. We're not flatting this and taking this to a flop.
So
You
this
never
is an
flat.
easy call, okay, but what do we
No.
do with pocket
No
five?
way.
It's awful.
No way.
Louis goes.
This
It's
is an
criminal
easy
to
call.
call.
I'm
This is
glad we all
criminal
agree.
to call.
Okay, I'm glad we all agree this is an easy call. What
We're
about
gonna put
pocket
you in,
five?
we're gonna put you in big blind jail, Louis.
Good
We
thing.
I like
only
jamming. I like jamming.
raise 10 hands.
Pocket five, what do you do?
Call.
And
Jam.
Jam? Okay, so we call this one and we jam pocket five. Good.
no,
We do not call 8.
Good, Joe. I'm glad we all agree.
I'm glad I was with Louis.
So why do you think calling pocket eights 30 big blinds effective versus that raise is more effective than, jamming?
Because
Wow.
solver says so.
No, Maxi, don't do that.
Just call.
Like, I know like some of these things say call with these milling hands, but I couldn't like articulate a reason why. So I was just curious if you guys could.
Cause I think hard to,
The
there's
8,
probably an answer that I don't know.
I'll tell you why.
Because
So I-
maybe we're in position and we don't generally raise a lot.
So why would you raise
Well-
fives then?
I would call fives. I wasn't in
Okay.
that. So.
Okay.
So I think 8s and like 7s and 9s block the middling portion of their open raising range probably. That's garbage. Just
I
a
think
guess.
the in position argument is actually pretty good point, cuz like, since they're also so wide, our hand is still like so strong, and we just generate probably like more EV if we play perfectly post flop in position.
I think the
Well,
small
yeah.
blind is raising like a little bit of everything, but I think the middling portion of the ranges is what raises more frequently than the bottom and the top.
you're right, Ken.
Okay.
I'm looking at it, and it's a bunch of 9x, 8x, 7x on the offsuit side.
Okay, so like we're blocking, so it's a blocker thing when you're playing versus the solver. So like, if you don't think they're raising a solver range, do you think you should just be raising this kind of combo?
Yeah, I just jam it, dude.
Okay.
What?
8s I'm jamming, like against the players in my games, they're raising like a lot of ace X, queen, king, they're raising, they're not polar enough, so. And they're gonna
I'd be-
call off
I'd
with
be-
a lot of stuff that my
I'd-
8s are gonna do good against.
I'd be cautious to jump to conclusions here.
No, I'm
I
not jumping.
mean-
No,
I mean,
no,
the thing
no,
is,
play low
what-
stakes.
What I'm
the
saying
EV is
is, what
fine.
I'm saying is, like, if we're assuming that the reason these middling hands are calling is a blocker thing with relation to what their raising range is. Like, if you're playing a game and that statement's not necessarily true in game.
How is it not true? If you have 2 7s, you block A7, king 7, queen 7, right?
No,
No,
but say,
yeah.
turn them to a majority of limps and add more, add more raises.
Yeah,
They're gonna
no,
open
that's-
raise.
So
ace
like,
two
if
suited,
you
ace
block
three
the
suited.
middle here,
Let
okay?
me tell you, let me say what low stakes players are doing. They're raising like all their ace X, a lot of their
Yep.
king X, a lot of their,
Yep.
like their better queens, and they're lipping all this shit that they're supposed to be raising.
Is that what they do in PA?
That's what they do on a lot of sites in low stakes.
I agree
That's
with
the
Ken.
majority of the
Broadly
players.
speaking, I think.
Well,
I think the
that's,
tendency is correct.
I'm posing a question more than anything. I'm not like necessarily asking why. I mean, it's an interesting thing.
So,
And like, it's obviously a nuance of the solver here where like this strategy is doing X, so we respond with Y when we're interacting with that.
well, I think it's
Like-
very clear here, like, I think. If players like, you're gonna block the bottom of the range with 9s, 8s and 7s.
If you
Simple
block
as
the
that.
bottom
Oh.
of their opening range.
Yeah,
If-
Louis, but you're assuming that range, yeah.
So
The other-
shoving,
like,
shoving
what
them
do you
is
do against a different range?
not
Louis.
great because you're more likely to be against the top of the range.
Tell you what I'll
If-
do while we're here.
if
I'm gonna
they're
node lock
playing.
this in HRC LP and I'll give us an answer later, but I'm gonna change.
Hey,
I'm gonna
let's
give
do
them a
that,
different
Ken.
range.
I think
Yeah.
that's a really good idea, Ken.
Yeah.
Louis, when I go out and play live in PA, they're not opening the small blind with that range. They're opening more of a linear range, just the top.
25 bigs. Okay, so 25.
So like Broadway's and better.
Yeah, but thing is, on the GG main side, who knows what they're up to, honestly.
Yeah, but I think Kep and I are talking like, when we run into the population that's just doing a linear range from the top, then how do you respond?
Yeah, for sure.
The majority of the players, in the
I
low
think
stakes
it's,
online.
I think we are going to too much into shenanigans right now, because like, the thing is, the EV wasn't bad to jam, you just lose some sliver of it, and like, there's no point to like really too much argue about it.
The only other thing I think is that eights have an easier playability post flop and are going to be able to realize their equity in position a lot better than fives and fours are. Because
Yeah.
fives and fours are just going to face too many overcards too often. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, following that logic, Peter, then why would it start raising tens and jacks?
For value. Because they are ahead too often, too far ahead.
Yeah,
Right, where you
maybe.
get an opponent who has one overcard and one undercard, and you want them to put chips in the pot.
Yeah, maybe so.
Huh. Okay, so this is the report. Because look now, he's betting 6 again and he's getting on my nerves, alright? So ace, queen, jack. So like, what is it? What's going on here, right? So we look. And then I filter for the IS bet 6 board. So of course, it's like too high, 3 high. Like it's a pattern here. He's gonna bet 6 more on low board. So why is he doing it on a ace high board? Where he just has like 6% of his range that is actually doing that. So 6% of range on an ace high board, if you go back here,
Well,
I mean,
what is
it's some really
6% of
nutted
his
stuff.
range here? It must be a really
like-
good portion of it, right?
Yeah, he has some two pair and some ace king and some really nutted stuff
No,
and some bluffs to go
on-
with.
So it's an easy fold because
on
he,
ace,
Oh yeah,
ace, queen,
easy
jack,
fold. We have nothing. We have nothing.
ace, queen,
Can you
jack,
go
he
to
has a
the- yeah.
nut advantage.
and then pretty sure he connected.
He's
really
betting
well with
range,
the
right?
texture. He
The small
has
blind's
to.
betting range, right?
But then,
Okay, no,
look
not
at this
necessarily.
scam, like he's betting like, 40% of his range here.
Yeah, ace king. Look at it up there.
Like, what is going on?
He has the nut advantage. Look at range. See how our ranges compare to each other.
Yeah, he's polar. He's
we
got the
missed
very
something
top of the
there.
range and a
missed
lot of other
this.
stuff. We don't have the very
And
top of
He
range.
just has everything. He has sets, two pairs, good straight draws, good flush draws, and we have basically none of that.
I actually looked at board like ace six deuce today, and it was like using the 100% pot with every ace from the small blind.
Why is he doing us like that over and over again?
Because he
You
got
could-
like ace nine and he wants to bust.
Blatant disrespect.
Yeah, we could set it to not do that, but it's fine. Just fold.
I thought I did.
It's okay.
Call this guy out.
Easy call.
Calling.
Easy
Jack
call.
6 off. What do you do, Tim?
Jack six off is getting into our raising range. You raise it a little bit, but you don't overdo it.
Let's look at the Jack 6, just in case. Ooh, nasty. It's Jack 7. Why is he betting big on a pair board?
Because these boards are good for him and not for us, because it's not limp
Small.
pots.
Still
versus
should be
fish.
betting mostly small, no?
No,
No?
He mixes perfectly, so you know he's got
He mixes, you guys think he has a lot of, four?
finds his slivers, man. He finds them the exact portion of the time.
I think
King
he
ace
has a
high
lot.
boards are good for betting.
I think it's just bet smalls. What
No,
the hell? There's a lot of blue. Look at this, how disrespectful this is. Pair board,
Yeah,
he's
and-
not even sizing down.
It kind of makes some sense to me with like the mid pairs, like pocket nines. They're not really worried about us having a king, but they also don't really want to give us cards for cheap.
I think you're just playing a different game blind versus blind. Like the heuristics that we kinda know for like playing the field
Alright,
just aren't lining up, right?
yeah. And then what? He does that, now what?
I
So
think
the
this is
question is the Jack 10 portion folding here? Or is some other part folding?
I want to
That's-
fold.
that's-
We looked at a really wide continue against a quarter pot bet, but a half pot is a lot bigger than a quarter pot. I want to find a lot more folds here.
Okay, so is raising here out of line?
Yeah,
I think it's good. I want to
Honestly,
raise. I want to raise
that's
like
what I was
four.
if you would
six,
have like
four with
Jack
a
10
backdoor.
suited with. If
Yeah.
you would have like Jack 10 suited with like diamonds, then it would be like a
even-
thing, I think. but
Even
not
then, I
with
want to
this
raise
combo.
stuff off the bottom of the deck, like, yeah, king four of spades. You know, as a bluff. Or excuse me, 6-4,
King
6-4.
four is
Sorry.
not a bluff, right?
6-4. Sorry. I'm looking at kings on the
It's a
board.
bluff for Peter.
Yeah, for Peter.
Because I think like we can't really bluff with hands that interact with Broadway because they're just too good. Like we're just going to be calling with more of the hands that interact with Broadway and the kings. We're going to bluff from the bottom of the deck.
I don't think I'm short on memory, buddy.
Jack 10 is
Bet
still
four.
calling, right?
Okay.
Jack 10 is still calling. So yeah, we basically don't raise 1%.
So it's like the bottom of. Yeah, it's like
So we never raise.
basically Jack 10 is too strong to to fold.
Surprise, we don't have a raising range. Great,
For that small blind scenario we were talking
Ah,
about,
this is a call.
yeah,
my mic working?
yeah, now, yeah,
So in that small blind scenario with the eights, if we give them a more linear open 3x range, it's sort of, it's got polarization to it, but it's still way more linear. And it's got some middling stuff, but mostly like, just opening all, raising a lot of, like all the Broadway, offsuit Broadways, all the aces, all the suited aces. Suited a lot of suited kings, like down to eights, like the 8 suited eights, some suited sevens. And then we just versus something like that, we just jam all of our pairs up to queens.
Okay.
Well,
At
this is the
25.
turn card that I was looking for when I called flop. So we're going broke.
so. In what order do you wanna go broke here, Tim?
I'm thinking about bet 4 as like because we have some stabs, clean up equity, fold out some undercards, fold out some ace high.
I actually like checking here.
Yeah, I think Jack High has showdown here. I think if we had 10-9, I would want to bet more.
That's fair. You guys make a good point.
What?
Yeah,
Because
ace
yeah,
high
off
and
of
Jack
10-9,
High
you
have
can
showdown.
crack your draw. If you get blown off of 10-9, you're not as sad. If you get blown off this, you're pretty sad.
Be a nit like
I-
me and check.
I don't know. I have troubles not betting after he checks.
All right, so yeah,
Right.
everybody's right. Stab a little, check a little. Good. The spade is important, obviously.
So honestly, either I'm not peeling wide enough on this board. And when I do, I'm definitely never checking back here, cuz. Do you guys think we're gonna win with this combo here? Like seriously?
No.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, like he should just have some just trash Ola. He should just have some, whatever, 10-5.
It's not only about like winning this, it's also like being able to have some straights in our checking range and being able to stack when we get the straights complete.
I also know in these really wide spots, if you start bluffing everything that you perceive as having no showdown value, you're bluffing way too much.
Yeah, that's.
You just have a lot of trash, and you just.
I
can't
don't
call.
think this has any showdown value. I would always bet it.
Yeah,
Oh.
so one thing that I've seen in blind versus blind play is that instead of like typically we want to see the top card like ace high check to have some showdown value, but because of the really wide ranges and wide defenses, in theory it's going to check a lot of the top 2 non-board cards. So on this board, it's gonna be aces and jacks are gonna have showdown value. And worse is gonna be betting.
Peter, that's a decent rule of thumb. I'm sure it's not perfect, but that's a nice way to think about it.
Yeah, it's also like blind versus blind for me. It's always like some reversed heads up situation.
I think we need to push here.
Yeah.
I actually don't think so. After what people were saying, I think we're just good against some of his give ups.
Mhm.
Also, the spade is a bad card to have in our hand once we hit the river.
I honestly don't think we're that good often enough after there was a C bet, then a turn bet.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
let me say it
never
this way,
been a short.
is it more efficient to check your jack and win even a smallish percentage of the time? Versus
He
bluff
has a
your
three
high,
here, right?
bluff your 5 high,
Pocket
bluff your
five.
7 high.
He does have ace high combos.
He has,
'Cause
we
like-
get ace highs to fold. Sometimes we get a three to fold. The eight is like a rough card for him. For when he has
But the
a,
thing is,
No, 8 doesn't really matter.
I think it's too. I think it's too strong to bluff with. I think, though.
okay, so you guys wanna check? I would shove it. It's never a check. What does
Well, it
he
was
do with
close. It
sevens?
was
here?
close, you saw.
Huh? What do you think he does with his sevens? What
Probably
do you
calls.
do with sevens here, Tim?
Louis, do you, do you bluff king, queen on ace high boards usually?
What do you, what
No,
do you do with your seven here?
If I'm against you,
Right?
Here, here you go, Louis. I'm gonna do something real quick. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing on the main GG client, so I would be very careful drawing any conclusions.
Louis, can we go back a node and look at his small blind? What's his range once he checks river? Just like, how does it break down? How often does he have a pair, ace high, worse? Yeah. So we see some, yeah, he has low frequencies of some trash, some 10 high, a little 7 high.
Yeah, this is the river. You wanna look at the turn.
No, I mean, this is what I want to see.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're chopping against some of his trashy jacks. Right, aren't we chopping against? No, we're not. Jack 10 beats Jack 5.
Mhm.
We don't need to get Jack 5 off the chop. We're beating it. We beat 10-5, 10-4, 7-5, 7-4, 6-5. I mean, it's not a lot, but there it is. There's the hands we beat. And you can see we start to bluff more.
When we have clubs.
And just some lower stuff. Yeah, a little lower in the deck. Louis, can you look at filters? So second pair, we're betting for value, clearly. It's a little hard because it doesn't differentiate Jack high versus ace high, but yeah.
So wait. Okay, so it's really clouds here. I see, I see. Alright. It's fine. Call. Look at this board, he checks. Queen.
Yeah.
King I would check back here.
Yeah, it's
Perfect.
reasonable. Betting's not the craziest thing.
I think the way I structure my range here, ace high, king I is checking back all of
I
them.
agree. I agree.
Ace high, not too much checking back, but yeah, king I, not too much checking back, but. There's like a portion of the deck that wants to do it. Why not king queen? Okay, that's top pair, sure. So yeah, not really your ace high or king I. So good guess. And then what's a jack six here? Pair of sixes,
Yeah, 6 is second pair.
pair of threes. So okay,
It's interesting that strong difference between king six versus jack six. King six has the overcard over the queen, jack six doesn't.
So most of the checking range, ace high, king eye, under pair. We
Yeah,
can,
that's like the same point that these king highs still are too strong for because of their showdown value. And that's why they're like probably better to check it.
now, we check again.
Yeah, I think the showdown value is looking better after he checks twice.
Now we're in trouble. I think we wanna bet there.
Whoa,
No,
you wanna
Yeah, I
bet?
don't hate it. You wanna bet some absolute air balls here. You don't wanna, yeah, otherwise hard to find bluffs.
this isn't an air ball though.
We get king eye to fold, better
Oh, I
king.
think it is. On four spades, I think king high doesn't really count for much. We're trying to get him
Would
off like.
would you
Trying to get him
rather
off
bluff from the
weekly.
bottom of the deck, though?
Yeah,
It doesn't matter on four liners. We're in
Maybe not.
position.
Yeah, it's not as important, I think.
He could have
I
plugged
lean
in.
checking. I lean checking because he actually it's pretty good. It's pretty
I don't
good,
find
for
bets
him to
here, but
bet.
I can definitely see merit for checking. Definitely can see merit for check. I mean, I'm sorry, I check here, but I can see merit for betting.
It's a bunch of nits around here.
No, I mean, I've seen this before. You need to find some bluffs on four flushes, right?
A bunch
Yeah,
of
you-
nits with the double check
Yes.
mark.
you need to find a bluff on a four flush, but not a hand that's likely to win.
No, I mean,
Doesn't
but
have a
I think
spade.
I'd question the likely to win thing. He just often has a pair or a single spade, like that kind of changes the value of king high on a four flush.
Alright,
you know?
so look at the value of checking, 1.19. That means we win a sufficient amount.
We get ace high to fold, Joey.
No, I mean, it was betting like 20% of the time. I mean, it's reasonable. Yeah. I think it mixes it throughout because you just have a lot of air, a lot of different kinds of air, and all of your air is kind of the same here because what really matters is having a spade.
But there are like much more frequent trash that chooses the betting line much more.
Louis, go to equity.
Yeah, king four,
Equity.
Strategy
blocking
plus
the straight
equity.
as well. 7x also blocks the straight.
Yeah, you can see a lot of the king high wants to check and a lot of the queen high wants to bet here. Or jack high wants to bet.
Right, fold.
What are you doing? You're folding, what are you doing? Folding these, oh, were those jams, I guess?
Yeah,
Okay. I
Those are
missed-
jams.
I was like, what?
We call here.
I
Yeah,
think you got a call.
yeah, we
Well,
can't.
do
fold
you?
yet.
I don't
don't
know,
know,
man.
man.
Like, this is
Half
a weird
pot,
node. It's such a
ace
weird node
high.
because it's so many big bets. Like, I
Alright.
just don't see this in game a lot.
Yeah, but gotta call
people
one
suck.
bet, at least with your pair. No?
I would probably call, I mean, if you're gonna put eights in a call range. You can't just fold to an overcard, cuz it's gonna be like. Losing always.
Oh yeah, it's a slam dunk call. That's rough.
Check back.
Maybe, yeah, well, so
That
like,
sucks.
I
That
was gonna say
sucks
you
now.
could bet small to kind of buy the river sometimes, but
Yeah.
checking's fine.
And you get called by his like pocket sevens and king queen and stuff like that, right? You
But
get
he
some
doesn't
value.
have ace nine now.
Let's check back. We're good.
So.
Yeah, just check
do
back.
you-
We have
Do
we have
you
showdown.
check back or do you target like king high calls and things like that?
Ooh,
Yeah,
it's-
I'm trying to think what
So
calls you
look
can
at
bet.
the size of the pot here. If you wanna reopen it, it's gonna have to be 9, no?
No, I have seen some solutions where they will reopen it for 30%.
Yeah, they
Well,
do, but
it's
it's hard
like-
to
It's
implement
the
in
norm,
game.
It's
though.
rare. It's not used very much, but I have seen it once in a while.
Is it the norm?
I
Not
don't
at
know,
all,
man.
right?
I kinda wanna
Oh.
bet here after he goes check after two calls. I just don't feel like this is an ace, 9 or 4 ever.
So here's a thing. I don't know if we noticed this. Everything worse than king high is chopping here.
Yeah,
So like, would we want to bluff some just random undercards to try and bluff him off a chop? And then pocket eights is
yeah.
betting for value then? Like if we get
Yeah.
called by anything calling for a chop, then
Okay,
I'm
so
in there.
first off, Tim, what do you wanna bluff blind against blind like this?
well, that's the thing. All non-paired hands are equivalent here. So we just want to bluff stuff that blocks 9x.
7,
4x.
6, 8, 8, 4, or not 8, 4, 8, 3, like just
10,
low
10,
trash
5.
cards. 10, 5.
But again, they all have equal showdown value. None of them play. So we're only interested in blocking value. We're not interested in showdown value.
So two
Right,
streets or
so-
not?
I'm
Two
checking.
streets from it.
I mean, we didn't
Think-
really go for 2 streets. We've called 1 street. So
Yeah,
like,
do we reopen for another street?
I don't know, I kinda like the idea of betting here, but
I'm a net,
SPR is goofy.
I'm a net.
And we just check. We expect to win a lot, but we still just check.
EV's not even close.
Yeah.
Like,
you're-
You just don't open pots for little bets
Yeah,
in position.
yeah.
And he
the-
like should just have some low ace X, right? Like 9 pairs, he's not excited about that. 4 pairs, he has a bluff catcher.
Are we calling against threes or ace nine?
He's starting to tilt me. I think we have to call it off.
No,
The suited one, the suited one. did.
Look at this, 10%. With the tilt equity, I mean, this is it.
I mean,
Every
what could
time-
go wrong? What could go wrong?
Oh my god.
can we reset the sim to where he raises pre, we call pre, then we see a flop?
Ooh,
No, because I want to work on what we do with our. range.
It's just really tilting to deal with this.
Enjoy
Jam,
the tilt with me. too.
Ah, it's
Well, you
probably
can
call.
go back and set it to 3.5. So it never shoves.
Ah, we kinda can, right? Yeah, I can do that.
Next one over.
I need to do a custom spot instead. Exactly. Now you can. There you go.
So we
was-
jam some offsuit aces here, right? But like the good ones. We jam like ace queen to ace 10 or something like that.
From ace king to ace nine with jam.
I
Yeah.
think there was some
Ace
ace
nine
nine
being
and
just
some
five-
ace eight.
5 or 10%.
Mhm.
No, it's not eight. Ace eight is the top of the calling range.
Ace king to ace
Oh,
nine?
yeah.
Ace nine is the last one we see.
Cool.
Yeah, that's very similar to when you look button opens and you're on the small blind. The ace king offsuit portion rips and some pairs rip stuff.
So we call
Very similar.
the majority of the time.
Or 3-bet bluff.
This just has showdown value all day, so we just call.
This combo maybe some bluffs, but oh no. Okay.
No, not on this board. We're too strong on this board to bluff.
It
Ooh.
sucks, but it's a call. It's a theory call. We block ace 6.
Louis, why did
Oh
you
my
check
God,
turns so
dude.
confidently?
Because Louis likes clicking. Louis is a fast clicker.
Why you
Clicks
wanna
fast, man.
call? You have some sevens and
Louis,
you can call with. Some
Louis
fives.
clicks fast, but checking was the best answer.
I mean, sure,
Yeah,
but
but just why?
Because it's
We
a
have
king.
showdown.
We looked at turns earlier. We looked at reports and nothing was good for us.
The
I
ace
wait,
I
think
just
it's
wants to
like-
get to showdown.
reasonably close to top of range. We took a capping action on the turn. We don't have a lot of king X. We don't
What
have
do
a
you
lot of
mean
9
a capping action? What are you gonna do?
Checking is capping. That's capping. That's my
You
definition. I didn't say it
got-
was bad. I just said that's what it is.
You were
No.
talking about showing down with Jack ten.
oh, Louis,
Blind
don't,
against blind,
Louis,
you have an ace
don't
high.
get jealous of Tim's answer. I know it was way better than your answer. Don't get jealous of his answer.
I mean, it's like half pot. We would need to win like almost 1 in 4. I think we just have it. He bluffs some. Solver bluffs some garbage here. It's
Yeah.
fine.
This
We
6
can't
blocks
call
the
it.
rivered straight.
It's
Watch
called.
I like-
Watch me call, watch me.
I like folding.
You need a
Oh.
5, a 7, something.
No,
Oh,
this is a call.
Oh my
you-
goodness.
are you folding all your ace highs here, Louis?
No, not all the sides. This one, yeah.
Because I mean, there's gonna be a whole new way we play the small blind.
Louis, look, it's enough equity to raise bluff it.
Cause it blocks that, that straight.
It
Yeah.
does.
That's an important blocker.
Oh my goodness.
Cause also after he checks.
But look, the fold
turn-
is like 0 EV, so like
Oh, yeah, it's a
it's
bluff.
so good to it's so good to fold in game even
Yeah,
more.
it's a bluff
Look at this,
catcher.
you guys are like, oh, I gotta call with the sign. No,
Well, I mean, dude, we're playing the theory here. Like, you put me
You
against like an
don't.
average opponent on ACR, I'm clicking fold, okay? Like,
Louis, I would be very cautious deviating from theory as you don't know what they're doing on the main GG client.
Wait, that sounds like something Louis said.
I'm sorry, Louis. I'll stop.
Ah,
yeah, even look at that queen jack, man. Feels bad. Gotta call, bluff catch.
Did you do your tiny, Louis, did you do your tiny crown avatar yet?
not yet.
Oh, you gotta do the tiny crown.
Like, we don't need to call with a sign here.
I mean, we didn't say it was printing, but it's just like, it's just a bluff catch.
You can bluff cash with ace 10 every 6 months so that it reminds you that people don't bluff enough and then you're just.
I know, but we're playing the solver right now. I think we got this one.
Okay,
Six
let's,
high suited is easy call. We're gonna bluff catch river with 6 high. Wait for it.
Hit him with a raise.
It's a pretty effective raise. I agree.
I would I like calling, and I think raising is more like 6-4, 5-4.
as we saw looking
Uh,
at reports, we don't have a raising range in position very much, right?
But was that
Yeah, I
against?
guess.
Special on ace king high.
one-
There are
one
some.
size?
There are some.
I mean, one big is,
Yeah.
it might be a bit of a
Yeah.
special case. No.
That other one, he was betting like.
Yeah, it's in there. It's pulling from
It's
that
in
neck
there,
of the
yep.
woods. It's pulling.
Yeah,
up
we
from
need
that
to,
neck of
we
the
need to
woods.
polarize a little bit against this bet.
Why?
There's no free lunch. You're not getting away with this one big blind shenanigan.
Well, because Louis, here's the thing, we're in position, which means we get to control how much money goes into the pot. If we say that we're never gonna raise his one big blind bet, then we're letting him control how much money goes into the pot. So when
Yeah.
he
It's
says,
not
hey, I wanna
only-
keep this, when he says,
it's
I wanna
not
keep the
only about
pot super
controlling.
small, then we say, no, we're gonna raise with our value, and then we're gonna mix in some bluffs, and we're gonna make you make the hard decisions. That's the strategy here, right?
The thing is, when we are re-raising with like ace jack and stuff, we just don't want to be raising only with our aces here. So we need to have bluffs also.
Obviously, of course.
And we want to use these bluffs that interact with the bottom.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, I think we all spotted this one pretty clearly.
Hint 6-5, 6-4, all of the goodies wrapping
Yeah.
around.
I still can wrap my head around calling or raising here.
But I like calling here because
Why?
the bet is so small.
Does it
He
make
only bet
sense?
one.
Yeah, it's an easy call.
It's either calling or raising.
Exactly, and you can mix, it's a bluff, so it's not important. I mean, you gotta find your value, but it's not super
I
important.
mean,
that you get the
Louis, you
exact
can
bluff.
go all in. You can go all in.
Alright, let's go. Let's freaking go. 7.5
What?
Well,
or
no.
5.
I
somewhere in that
kinda
range.
like checking now.
If we need to double barrel this, we need to go a little smaller to have a hefty enough bet for the river.
So
Let's
from what we've seen of the reports, when one of the card was pairing, it was one of the bad turns for us, no?
It's
Yeah, but
probably
he
better
bets
turn for
one,
him.
but like, look at the action, man.
Yeah.
It's not just the report. He bets one on flop and he checks turn. Like, what hand does he have? Like,
Look at
and we have value. We have medium aces that want to bet for value.
We're
We gotta
betting
bet
35.
bluffs, and like low hearts are gonna be some of our bluffs, right?
We're betting.
This is
30%
He's
what I-
perfectly
of the
balanced,
ball.
so there's still aces that he checks there, so you can't say that he doesn't have it.
Kind of, but he's balanced, but he is condensed. And so we build a polarized range around his condensed range. So we build stuff that's better than his medium strength hands. We take stuff that's worse.
He's
than
not
him.
condensed. I don't agree.
absolutely he's condensed.
He's
He's
not.
absolutely
He's not.
condensed. Yes, he
So
is.
first thing we can
That's-
see here is like ace pairing, king pairing, we size down. We
Yeah,
really don't bet very much here. And then one of these card comes, we size down, so it's not great for us.
I mean,
Except
kind
for
of.
the
It's like
flush
half
one.
and half-ish.
But
Feels like this is the worst possible card, actually. Like,
Nah.
you get a 5, you bet
Yeah.
more often than big.
Dude, you have a 2 hearts with no showdown value.
Louis,
Like,
it's
if he
not
ever
a
shows up
great,
here with pocket sevens, 9, 8,
One at a
10,
time.
7.
Louis, it's not a great card for us, but this is a great spot for us to bluff with this hand.
Yeah, sure, we develop backdoor, I'm okay with that, but. Ace
And
is-
Louis, like, if you pot controlled flop, if you had your ace 10, you were like, I'm probably good, but let's just see a turn card. And then this is the 10
Yay, my
card he
check was so
checks.
good.
Don't you just think that you're just like, just holding the nuts with ace 10 here after he checks? Like, and you're gonna bet it
I'm
for
so
value,
happy.
right?
Check or bet big?
I like checking.
We want bet big.
Okay, and we got him off of a dominating hand. That's the kind of stuff that you were looking for.
Okay. 3-bet or call?
I think it 3-bets about 15-20% and calls.
Alright, we haven't
Right.
3-bet him once, right? Well, well. There it is. Okay, calls. What?
4.75.
3-bet call. Is there good boards for us? What's our strategy as in position here? Betting small
With it.
enough?
Strategy's gonna be.
Two
win the
Broadway
pot.
boards are gonna be good for us.
Oh. Okay, and then the table says. Table says we bet small 80% of the time, 85% of the time. Okay, so we can do that. Which one is, we have a 7. We have a spade, so. Out of the ones we wanna check the most, I think 7s are like prime candidates, right? But we then have a spade. And our range really wants to bet. That anyway,
Mix
Yeah.
both bet
Yeah, I
sizes.
guess- Okay,
Bet
so it's smaller.
just bet small.
Oh,
Interesting
yeah,
turn. I
right.
didn't expect that, but when you 3-bet
Yeah.
with jack 7 off, good things happen to you.
This is the
Continue
miracle. The question is just how
small.
do we milk it?
Continue
Yeah.
small.
Continue small,
5?
not small.
No,
2?
5. We're gonna get some money in this pot.
2 or 5, I think is okay.
Alright.
I actually start to like this 3-bet node because
Now put
imagine
it in.
what the population interprets it as when they see you jack 7 3-betting on the big blind.
And then getting 3-7s going all in. I think this guy called with every ace.
Yeah, you just jam. It's
Oh.
Once again, why did we
Oh.
3-bet this hand on flop?
Goodness. Oh, wow. Woo.
He was so happy when that 7 rolled off on the turn.
Woo.
That's so disgusting. That's the most disgusting
I
hand.
think we got him.
The population interprets you as a fish right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's so good. I missed.
What a punt. Of course I had kings when I called your 3-bet.
Blind
That would be
against
so
blind.
funny in game.
Fold.
Some fold, some call.
Yeah, I'm just getting out of there with this one.
God, we might still need to, okay, no, thank God.
Yeah, the offsuits are hard. They add so many combos if you're calling. item. almost.
Exactly.
King high defense.
It probably wants to call still.
Probably the kings with a lower card than a 7 might start to fold there.
Yeah, right. But we have two
Yeah.
lower cards against his 7x or 3x.
And check.
Probably want to check back.
Yeah, I want to check back this turn. This isn't
Yeah.
really bottom range. Like we have worse cards, worse hands in our range.
Run away to win the pot.
Oh.
Check.
Yeah, it's still just a check. We saw before we want to bluff more with lower stuff,
Oh, you rivered us with a 4.
tilting.
What a joker.
Oh,
Jack 7-3, but I have to remember that.
this one is a gutter over. Is this a probe? Are we gonna try and fish this one in? No, king high really wants to check.
I know, I'm torn. I think I'm
Yeah,
still.
me too,
leaning
'cause we
towards
have-
check.
This is like pretty high in our range, right?
Yeah,
So it's like not the bottom.
like this one's
It is,
almost
but then
going
also
for
the
value.
connectivity with the queen and the 9 does, like, we want to have some straights when the jack comes, so.
Now we can. Block this straight.
Feeling the itch? You guys feeling the itch when we river the nut blocker?
Yeah.
Just check, we got king eye again.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's the having the 10 here.
Yep, we block the river practical effective nuts, so like,
I'll say,
Yeah, we do win when we check often, but it looks like when we bluff, we win even more.
not really. Checking was worth like a couple tenths of a big, right? So we're pretty much down to 0 showdown value at this point.
It was point 3.
Yeah, a couple tenths of a big.
Yeah.
Where's the-
I just pot it and make an 8.
Yeah,
go.
so it was like 5 or check, right? Or 5 or 7. When you get to this node with Jack 10, you bet big.
so why do you guys think it's happening?
Blocking the nuts.
The 10 blocks both the top and the bottom straight here.
Yeah, but it's
Really
not
wants to
just the
block the
10
10.
here, it's everything.
Yep, 10 super important. Jack 10, 10, 6. We're not really worried about flushes at this point, so having a spade is not that important once it checks all the way down.
So is it because he checks twice on a monotone board?
Yeah.
He actually checks 3 times, right?
He
Check
checks
flop,
3
check turn,
times.
check river, yeah.
I'd also consider Louis going the other direction. When you have Jack 10 here, like start from your value. When you have Jack 10, obviously you're gonna bet, right? So, card match your bluffs.
Very interesting to see that ace deuce, ace 3. It's not going for ace high anymore, whereas like ace 4, blah, blah, blah. These are ace high showdown. But it considers a ace 3. So I thought like the king eyes good enough for showdown, but no, even ace deuce is not good enough. Alright,
Did we get the fold there?
I jam this in game sometimes,
why?
cuz you have a suited wheel.
Never a jam?
Probably not.
Never.
But Galen, I get that based on that read you guys were talking about earlier. If they're raising too much with like ace 10 off, ace 9 off, ace 8 off, and they'll fold to a jam, then jamming this is great.
It makes a little more sense in that context, but.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sizing's rough.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to defend the backdoor here. But I mean, our range has to call a lot. And this one,
I know, and it's ace high and it's
Double?
backdoor wheel as well, which is like the thing that's making me think about it.
This
Yeah.
there has to be a call or something.
I hate it, but maybe it is. I don't know. All right, zero EV.
Okay, we can
That's
just get out of the way, it's fine. Oh, queens, look at this.
Just queens.
One big blind, we gotta call with
All queen high against the min bet.
atrocity, yeah, we gotta continue.
oh. Maybe this is the one that we could fold, right? Like all the other backdoors continue, but clubs, maybe we can get away from.
No, we have a queen beat.
Yeah,
We can make it
Yeah,
back to three.
you'd start folding like you have 9 high and 7 high and real trashy trash.
If he's just betting one, you can't fold your queen nines to this guy.
we have showdown. All right, let's get there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very marginal made. I think it's a nice check back on the turn.
Printing check.
Okay,
That's why we check back the turn. See a beautiful river card.
All right,
value now,
8.5.
late, right?
yeah,
Do we overbet this one? Yeah.
We
Yeah.
do.
even a bit
Yeah.
bigger.
I guess that could make some sense. He could have some hands here like
Yeah.
king, queen,
It's-
queen, jack, queen
It's
nine.
a perfect overbet spot
Why you say it's a perfect overbet spot, Eric?
because you will call with a lot of force in.
Ah, you get called by words, okay, anything else?
I think he
Uh.
rivers a queen fairly frequently here. I think he
Just
had
like
some,
a boat, right?
I think he had some queen X that he was checking down with showdown value.
You revert to pair like this, it's like a boat, line against line.
Yep.
Okay, so value. Jack eight. He called with a pair of eight.
And did we overbet or
Yeah.
we?
He
Yeah.
called our
Oh.
overbet with an eight.
It was jack
What
eight, so
about
it
this one?
blocks king jack and it blocks jack nine, so it blocks both straights that were rivered. So,
Good point, Pete. I didn't see that blocker power. That's real.
yeah, he double blocked value and made him call with an eight.
Call
Yeah,
or
it's like the
fold
fourth
here?
pair is kind of rough, but the
Call.
blocker is
It's a call.
Call.
What about seven deuce?
Also
7 deuce. I
call.
think we can fold.
The only one you can fold.
What about eight deuce, Peter?
Easy call.
Eight
I wish
deuce
we had eight
suited.
deuce right now.
You calling
Yeah, right. Wish we had
suited, Peter?
eight deuce.
Jesus.
Oh, it's there. That's the
Okay,
only one we
make it
folded
three,
was
we
seven
can't
deuce.
fold, right?
I've been learned.
We can't fold, right?
We can bluff bottom pair.
You wanna bluff, Joey? I think you wanna.
Yeah,
bluff
I think,
bottom pair
I
with an
think
eight?
this,
I think
the
we,
problem is the raise size. The problem is the raise size. So.
Yeah.
It's just call.
It maybe clicks back some, but no.
Take
No
back.
clicking back.
This current pairing is good for us when we called his polarized bet. Yeah, I knew it was gonna bet.
You knew.
Yeah, because of his polarized bet, like we defend so many eights here. We fold so much of our trash, like the equities changed here, or the range equities changed a lot on this.
I understand. Makes sense. Go bet five.
And now it's just a give up. Oh, gross.
Whoa,
No, Peter, you have to look at the beast in the eyes and say, I'm all in.
You gotta look him in the eyes and say, here's the rest of my chips. You're welcome.
He snapped us off with king. You know how I roll, right? I would snap note this guy, calling station.
He had he had,
Sometimes you only need
uh,
one hand to know exactly. what happened. And this
he
guy
had you
here.
marked as,
calling-
range construction issues, Louis, so he just had to call.
No, I wouldn't mark him range construction. This guy has serious problems, man.
No, he had you marked as range construction.
First, he has no respect, no respect whatsoever.
Oh,
That was a rough one for my ego.
Alright, just call.
This is a shove. No?
Maxi,
Lots
what's
of-
wrong with you?
You can
Good.
shove it, it's just fine, but let's play it as a call.
I make my life easier. I just shove.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Sorry, can I range construction anecdote? I had, in the one where I took second last week, guy rejams on the final table bubble, like 25 bigs on me, and I call him off with pocket nines. Because he'd been way too wide. I've seen him just blasting off. And we were like equal stacks, like, he's not really supposed to just be like going crazy. He shows up with 10-7 suited, which is not a jam.
10-7 suited
Yeah, it's like 3 pips
on
too
the
wide.
bubble.
He can have a final table bubble, not bubble.
Wow.
Live game? Was it a live game, Tim?
Yeah, live game. So I've seen him show down. And then I see him again at a cash game this week, and he's like talking to me. He's like, in like pocket nines. Like, how can you call with pocket nines there? Like, I looked it up. Like, it's a theory fold, man. I was like, yeah, 10-7 suited is a theory fold too.
He wanted to exploit you.
Wow, you should have said, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's a theory fold.
You're right. You're right.
Anyway, pay attention to
It's the
showdown.
best answer always. You're
I'm
right.
sorry.
I was just tired and wanted to go to bed.
Got a call or raise? This seems like a raise.
A little bit of
Oh.
raise for sure.
Yeah, it seems like a
25%
I think we can
raise.
raise, yeah. Wow.
Oh, the backdoor
likes
equity
calling.
doesn't want to get
JK,
3-bet.
Seems like a call to me.
Very interesting. That's where I would have fold.
3?
Why you wanna lead on a tree?
We're not leading, he checked to us.
Ah,
Flush completing is good for us.
okay, yeah.
Now we have to bluff.
Then,
7.
Yeah, 10 is better.
10 is better.
Yeah, but I'm an
Can you
egg.
explain me why did you bluff here? Because we block his straight or
Because
Because we block the straight and we have no showdown value. We are in the bottom of our like range and we get better hands to fold.
okay.
we need an ace eye to fold sometimes, a king eye to fold sometimes. The tree has not been purified. The opponent bets one and we call. Then he kind of give up, check turn, check river. So we need to
Yeah.
get these eyes to fold. And we also have the flush a lot here.
So when you consider to bluff river, you still take into account the flop turn actions altogether, yeah?
Yeah. Also the river, the guy checks the river.
Yeah. But maybe he's slow playing the flush.
Yeah, but we have
You know,
ace 4
the
here,
thing
we have
is-
2 pair here.
If he would have a flush, he would use like usually a bit like bigger sizings to build the pot. And then if he has checking with flushes, like he would still like make the pot bigger. So it doesn't really make sense him to have flush there. Rather, his range is very weak because he has bet like very, very small amount, which keeps it so wide. So like imagine how many like bad hands he has. So
Okay.
you can't look so much like, oh, he has only value now. He doesn't.
Okay.
Sorry.
Crawl.
A little bit shoving
yeah.
also here.
I think
No,
shoving
not this
doesn't
time.
pick up until ace deuce off, ace 3 off, we saw.
Oh, okay.
But you're in the right range.
Bet 1
Or two.
or 2.
Or check.
My
I
intuition
was-
was to check actually, but yeah. Go on, Joey.
He doesn't fold a king high, so the king high is bad for us.
Do we barrel?
Nope.
No.
I think we do,
Why?
cuz we're in position, we're drawing to the nuts. If we don't bet here and we hit a magic spade, how are we gonna play for stacks?
We're
That's
gonna
a good
open
point.
it.
Doesn't
And
fold the
then-
king.
With the king on the turn, a 5 or a 7 is gonna start to feel small.
I think like betting like 6 here might be a thing.
That was my guess, 6 or 9, probably more 6.
What do you do if you get jammed on?
What? I
Well,
don't
if
think about
we
it.
get jammed on, then we fold probably.
I don't wanna think about it.
Yeah, you can't fold these. It's
Who's gonna jam on this king turn?
let's see.
Louis, have you
me-
heard of the 7 Ps?
Me or the solver?
The 7
Proper
P.
prior preparation prevents positively poor performance. You can't just bury your head in the sand, man. You gotta think about the future.
Okay,
Oh,
what?
sorry, guys.
Perfect. What do you do against the jam here?
Fold.
What?
Dude, I'm not
Fold.
calling off versus jam.
You have an overcard.
We beat all of his bluffs. We're drawn to the nuts.
Yeah, that makes this
We
like an
lose all
attractive check
The
to me.
value, man.
We
No,
don't-
we're not calling it off.
Yeah, I would have checked the flop too. I don't think I would
I
have taken
can-
aggressive line with the ace high flush draw.
I don't hate betting the flop because you just target so many auto folds, but on the turn, I don't want to get jammed on, so I'm mostly checking.
Why don't you, set that note up and see how it reacts? I mean, it might call, but like. You're gonna be
I
pretty
don't-
miserable, right?
I
Like,
don't believe it's calling.
it's the same reason we don't like 3-bet ace queen suited at 40 big blinds and. Or ace jack suited.
So it's going
Okay.
all in with like top pair, top set, bottom set, middle set, and then no bluffs. This is gonna be great.
Oh, he's jamming the ace of spades as a bluff.
Ace jack off, ace 10 off for the bluffs, right?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's really bad because we're blocking his bluffs.
Uh-oh, are we wanting to change our answers now? Since we saw?
Well, look,
Yeah, if you have an open-ended straight draw with your flush draw, you can call.
yeah, that's right. You need
combo
a
draw.
straight interaction. You can't call with the naked like.
You saw the teacher solution book, now you wanna change problem 3?
Well, the problem is in this answer, the solver already knows the other guy's range 100%.
Yeah, he also primarily has a click back, not a jam range on the turn too.
Also, if you look at this, having an ace is bad here because. Like queen 9 here is calling more often than ace 9,
Yeah, his bluffs were coming from the ace of spades.
I guess, right? But no, not at all. No.
Offsuit, ace
Oh,
jack, ace
yeah.
10, ace 8.
The sliver of bluff comes from ace high. Okay, back here, we bet 6 and we fold if he raise. Now. I think there was only one way. Right?
Now we're
Caught in a trap. I can't walk out.
I kinda think we can
I'm-
go for value here.
I'm betting like 8 in game, but I don't think solver will do that.
Like, if he's got the or like the king of, spades or something. He's probably gonna have to bluff catch at some frequency, no?
Go all in?
That's
All
the
in,
only
I think.
size.
I think it's like the only size you can really bet.
We go full scam on the river, all the cookies.
Yeah.
The net fold.
Eat it, Nit.
That's because all our bluffs got there. The king and the
Alright,
ace
so
both
this is
came.
an easy call, right?
That's
I'm glad
true.
we all agree. What
Yeah,
about queen five and queen six?
also.
Offsuit or suited?
Offsuit.
Queen
Queen
five you can
six, I
raise.
think it's more queen five, maybe?
Queen five offsuit, raise, fold.
Three bet a little bit.
Queen
Mixing.
six offsuit, raise or fold.
One of them was I think one of them was a jam, right? But that's just it's a little spicy.
I don't think that they fold. I think it's raise or call. I think they're both mixing.
Yeah, I think they're razor call, not razor fold, Louis.
Good.
One of them was a jam, right? I remember this.
Queen five is a
Okay.
raise or fold, kind of.
It mixes all three.
Queen six. You can three bet some.
Look at that bet.
Oh,
Try call.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, fold, 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 fold.
Isn't the
ah,
jack a
no,
pair?
no, no.
Oh, cooler if the jack paired.
It's blind against blind.
Queen of spades is a terrible card in your hand.
I think it's good at this point.
You are kind of blocking maybe some bluffs with the queen of spades.
I'd rather call with like jack seven of diamonds all day.
Hmm.
That's
That's,
rather call with this one.
Eh,
What bluffs do he block with the queen of
For
spades?
me, it's an easy call. This guy's a scum.
You ask
so
what
he's gonna
bluffs we
have
block?
like
Oh my
queen, king.
goodness.
Louis,
fish.
Louis, you wanna retract your last statement?
No, this guy's a scum. I'm calling.
let's just check that jack seven of diamonds.
Again, I will reiterate. I would be
Wow.
very cautious deviating from the strategy as we
It-
don't know what they're doing on the GG main
It's,
client.
Galen, it
This is
looks like you,
hilarious. This is
it's
a
starting to
comedy
look like
routine.
you need to put on your suit again and
I just muted him. There we go. Now we're safe.
We're not there yet, Joey. We're not there. We don't need to suit up quite yet.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, it's not very popular on the Jack X in general.
So, check, what about Nick's answer? Was the Jack seven?
It's
Better
not
than-
popular on Jack X.
Well, like, no, which is a better call? Which loses more?
Yeah, that's kind
Queen
of the
jack with
question
the
I was.
queen of spades or jack seven of suited?
Negative.
Yeah, I'm kinda on the board.
Huh? You lose
Negative
more
point
with
four.
Jack seven of diamonds.
Yeah, it's just the raw equity, I guess.
What was clubs or hearts?
Hang on, hang on.
wait, no.
No, you lose
Point
more when you have a spade.
46 versus 0.44. Okay, yeah, you lose more with the Jack seven of diamonds.
Not really. I mean, it's close though. Like what you're
It is
saying is,
close.
what you're
So,
saying
hey,
is
what do you
correct. Nick.
defend here with? Why would you defend queen eyes more than
Same question.
a jack here?
They're all flush draws.
Yeah, man, they're
Well,
all flush draws. They have more outs to improve.
Yeah, Nick kind of laid it out pretty well, I think. Like the queen of spades is a pretty unattractive card when you're in like bluff catch mode.
And especially Louis, consider on a paired board, you only have your boat outs are live, your two pair outs are not live against his value range. So like with Jack 10, let's say, a 10 doesn't win you the spot, only a Jack does.
Like the
Wait.
worst card in the deck is the ten of spades. The second worst card in the deck is the queen of spades. There's the two worst cards in the deck to be bluff catching within your hand.
It seems to be the case, right? Queen of spade is not so good here.
Unless you have the flush draw itself.
Yeah, you need him to have like queen 10. You need him to have like queen five of spades. You need him to have all of those. If you're gonna be, extracting any value with a jack at this point. Versus that, extremely girthy turn barrel.
He just
had a I was gonna get him. Checks.
I like betting here.
Yeah.
I'm checking.
Yeah,
Why would you bet here? No spade, no heart.
Yeah, I
nothing.
was just, we were kind of wrapping around the 9 was the only reason. I mean, it's
You need a
obviously,
spade here to bet,
it's not
no?
great. Yeah, it's not the best. It's not the best.
no, I don't think you necessarily need it. Having a spade or the backdoor would be better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think you're right, Joey. It was reflected in the frequency. Like, it's a very minor thing. Like, you can bet it, but you're gonna
With
be better
high
off with a spade.
cards,
Like. I thought something like Jack 10 would be getting at it more, though.
So here's the thing, the queen eight is in the middle of the range, right? It wants the worst queens that have straight interaction to start partying.
Yeah, perhaps that's it, Pete.
Yeah,
Perhaps
you
that
want
is.
you want to have a 3, a 5, or a 6 in your hand to start getting splashy here.
5, a 6, or a 7.
Oh, yeah, it wants to interact more with the 4 and the 2.
Yeah, you want to block his auto continues with straight draws, so it wants to have a 3, a 5, a 6. Right?
I'm not sure about the 3-beat, but a 4, 5, or a 6 seems to be good.
Okay.
The 4 is a pair though.
Yeah, the 3s, 5s, and 6s.
Yeah,
So
2s and
that's like
4s are
better for the
pairs.
big blind or it's better for us?
And it clearly prefers a 5 or a 6 versus a 7 or an 8, right? If you just compare this block here. Clearly prefers the lower one. Why? What's the difference between queen 5 here and queen 8?
Queen hat, queen
Has
5 has a
more,
backdoor straight
has more
draw.
straight interaction, yeah.
Queen 6 and queen 8.
Queen 6 can river straight, well, 3 and a 5.
Yeah, queen 6 just has higher equity.
Queen 8 can never river straight.
So it's really
Oh, that's
straight
straight.
interaction. Okay, alright. So a 3 is good, the deuce can be good. Not really, there's
Well,
a
deuce is a pair.
So 3, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay, I see it. And then spades. So a 7 is good enough to bet here. But like a 10-8. Do you not need a spade with an 8?
No, they're just bad enough. Like you have better 8s that can check. Like it starts to check the queen 8 and the king 8 pretty pure,
Alright,
right? And the worst 8s bet more. And even the suited ones check more. Right? Like, you got 10-8 of flush draw checks more.
Damn,
Oh, man.
This one 3-bets at some portion.
jams. Stuff it, all the chips.
All
Like,
of them?
okay, all of them.
Sometimes call, sometimes jam.
Man, see, like. I think if you're jamming,
They
if
wanna
you're
go.
jamming, if you're jamming 30, like, wouldn't you want the extra equity from like a flush draw when you're called?
No, no,
Like-
no, no.
Like 30 is a lot of big blinds.
Yeah, the flush draw is
And I
playability.
totally
post
agree
flop.
though, like with you, I mean, certainly better hands have more equity. But the flip side is what range do you want to have on the flop? Do you want the range you have
Yeah.
ace 5 suited and less ace
Yeah.
3 off? Or do you want the range?
That's
that
a
has,
really
less
good
risk?
point.
You're right, Tim. Like,
it.
there's that push and pull between like, we close the action, so the hands that have the extra equity, you kinda just wanna play a little pot on the
That's
flop,
all.
right?
Exactly, yeah, like you're okay seeing a flop, so it's tough. I mean, I don't
This
think it's
might have. Sorry.
What?
no, call this.
This
Do
hand
we
might have
have
slivers
any,
of 3-bet. I know it does deeper.
do we have
Crazy.
any raises from the suited side here?
Not really.
Nope.
Call, easy call against small bet. We're live. Check it. We have no interactivity with anything important. Check it.
Check and lose. 2 and 9.
Check and win. We're at 7 big blinds.
Oh,
Easy call. Okay, the question here is sizing, right?
Hmm,
Not really, I
Half?
think it's just a small bet.
is it a small bet? I don't know,
It's-
man.
The queen and the nine though is like pretty lit up with some, some like.
Yeah, yeah,
middle
like
and
his
high
flatting
cards.
range, right? Like his flatting range is gonna have some kind of interaction a lot here.
But flatting,
mostly
he
betting
raised and we
small.
call.
I'm sorry, his raising range. Or is
And
it?
like,
I don't
if
know.
he wants to get in a
I
check
don't
raise
know.
with like ace, queen, pocket kings, king 10, I'm inclined to let him, like, that's. great.
Yeah, see, like, okay, king 10, king jack, jack 10, 8, 10, there's a lot.
You
Well,
connect too much here with the board, it's always gonna be.
Not two, but four's in there.
I think with the SPR, I think it's more of a question of how many streets do you want before getting the chips in? Do you want to
Yeah.
make it a
Hmm.
2-street hand or 3-street hand?
Yeah, that
Three
seems
street,
good.
we're too deep.
And now we should go somewhere around 6 or 9.
Six, I think
6.
6 is pretty good. Nine's okay, given the very
Nine.
dynamic nature.
9 all
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, super dynamic.
I think it's just a really,
It's-
this is kind of like a danger turn card, like 2 flush
Yeah.
draws, a million straight draws.
Well,
And
it's like
We
a
don't
more
really
like,
think we're ever losing on the turn, but we can imagine a lot of ways we lose on the river, right?
Yeah, I
it's-
think
it's
so
just
too.
a more geometric sizing, like. You bet 3/4 and then half pot as opposed to betting half pot and then jamming for pot. I'd bet like 8 in game for that reason, just go geometric.
Call this.
Okay,
I don't really want to
On
bluff
this one, you
this.
might bet a little bit actually, because it's jack high. It's kind of garbage. Mostly a check, I think. Maybe some betting.
no betting.
Oh, yeah, 30%. I wouldn't really have
No.
found this. In my intuition, I want to like, yeah. It's a little too good, but
It's just such a disconnected board. It's going to be hard to find enough bets.
Oh, I finally got Tom.
You're trekking
Oh.
through, the Arctic over there, huh, Romano?
it's really funny that your video's on this whole time.
What?
That you've been trekking through the Arctic over there, man.
Oh,
Over
Yeah, I'm not
Arctic?
excited about calling this turn, but it's mandatory.
Yeah, it looks and sounds cold where you're at.
It's like, it's not cold right
yeah.
now.
Ooh,
Ace is
Um,
bad, I think. Ace is bad,
This is-
heart is bad.
This is close.
Yeah, it's like solver has so many
I think
bluffs that it
fold.
might actually be close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's close.
Yeah, I'm folding that in game.
Yeah, folding game, folding game. And also like fold with any ICM pressure, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I would agree.
Call versus sizing. Nope, just jam. I was gonna
Just,
say I would raise if he bet smaller.
Yeah.
What?
gut shot.
Yeah, like
Gut
You
shot
just have
and
enough
flush?
equity. Yeah, you just have enough equity where it's
I will
like,
point out that we do not have a gut shot. I would
Oh,
like to point
no,
that out.
backdoor. Backdoor, I'm sorry.
Wow, what the heck?
Front door flush, backdoor straight, and an over.
we hit
when we
him,
get there.
Did he fold?
3-bet some.
no, he called and we hit the turn.
Okay.
Is this? I raised this in game some. I don't know if
Never.
it's a thing.
Never.
I
can
don't
see
think the
it. Some of our
four, is
worst
the four
kings.
good?
No,
Is
I,
four
fine.
good?
yeah, I think there's some raises here.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Wait,
What
Lou,
do you
you're
mean
folding this?
never?
Did you
In
fold?
position?
What-
In position.
What are you doing?
I don't think we fold any kings.
No, we don't fold.
Me
Okay,
too.
king
out of the
two.
Oh my
costume.
gosh. Am I gonna have to get my tie on, Louis?
You lost your tie 10
No,
years
no,
ago.
this was a passive mistake. Hit,
This is Louis playing 20 tables and like, alright.
You gotta get
No,
in there.
honestly, if you're
When
playing-
you call.
honestly, if you're playing 20 tables, this isn't, you can let this go.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
Or just 3-bet it like me and then win pre-flop.
Okay. Okay, Jose,
Hey, Jose,
Check,
this is not a
Fold.
check. Try again.
absolutely checking.
This is a check. This is a locked up equity board. I don't want to put a chip in this pot.
Dude, and we have no blockers
Good.
worth anything against anything. Ugh, oh, hate it, hate it.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
not
I
a
was-
check.
Check is good.
It,
It checks a quarter of the time.
yeah, Louis just ignoring that quarter of the time that you.
Whether it exists or does not exist, depending on how your gut tells you.
He's
It's
gonna
like-
count-
25% checking is like no checking.
2% doing
no.
it every time.
Never a three.
That,
bet. It's three
I was gonna
betting
say that-
93% of the time.
yeah, that's true unless we're looking at 3-bet pots.
Oh, we rivered a nut blocker.
I'm probably betting now after this section.
Let's go.
Not quite that
No,
big.
what are you doing?
Trying to win the pot.
You don't have to go that big. Just put
You're
a
allowed
little
to bet
chips.
5.
Okay, so if he has a 7 or a 6, maybe not, but if he has a 9, we need to be convincing.
Yeah, but we don't need to have nines. How about ace high? How about pocket
Dear
threes? How
God.
about
How about better kings?
Convinced.
yeah, king 8, right?
Boom, put him to the test.
I like that
And the
wording.
sun.
That was the best. We need to convince him.
So
This is the one that
here
hits
as
it,
well, I
jams and
think,
calls,
I
right?
think this
Jams-
is a spot where we need to convince him.
No, it's a call, and I think Louis is probably gonna fold.
I'm going all in.
Can
We
we,
need to
Never
convince
goes
him.
all
We
in.
can go all
Never-
in, but this doesn't
never
give
all
us
in.
any post-flop practice.
Open your eyes,
So,
Nick.
I was gonna say, if we go all in here, this never goes all in if we look at the same frequencies as the last pot.
What?
Yeah,
There's zero.
26%.
It
jamming
says
jamming.
all in here.
This never goes all
26% is
in.
nothing.
This is
Oh.
never, this never goes all in.
Wow, you're right, we
Oh.
got scammed. I regret now.
Ay.
Call ace 4. I think we want to bet
Bet.
for protection and
Bet
value.
two.
We get called by ace high, king high.
Yep.
3x.
I'm
Bet two.
betting two a lot here.
You,
You get called by worse, you get called by ace high,
Yeah.
king high, 3x.
okay,
It's
Nice.
just good enough.
And
pitching
check
again
back.
or giving up?
Nah, we're not giving up. We're considering bluff catching river.
Hmm,
Interesting.
Wow.
That's pretty spicy.
It's probably
mhm.
because it clears. Oh no, five.
Are we
It's really
bluffing at
interest-
this point? What's
No, we're
going
really
value betting.
interesting to
The
me, it
EV,
never
it's worth
bets
7
small.
bigs. It's value betting. It's value betting thin, but it's value betting.
This is a value bet, you say?
Absolutely, it's worth 7 bigs,
Yeah.
man. It's worth a lot.
It's worth a lot.
That's what the
You get
machine
called by
says.
spades, you get called by straight draws, you get called by 3 still.
None of
Louis
us
just
measly
called.
humans value bets thin enough, right?
It has a lot of equity, so 63% equity, it's pretty strong. It's a value bet. Okay, so it's blind against blind, right? We have to keep that in mind.
I was gonna call with a 5 and a 6 in his hand a bunch too.
Yeah, I mean, this 7 isn't really great for his range.
Yeah, right. He check raised a lot of that 7x as bluffs on the flop, right?
Bet small,
But
Chris?
it was only like quarter.
Nope.
We
check.
can mostly checking this combo.
I'm okay with betting
can
this
bet
some
it
though. Like
some.
second pair is pretty good against a check.
Yeah, we
It's
should.
just blind versus blind. Your worst second pairs, you're often checking in a solve.
I'm gonna wanna
We can
interact
bet
with the jack
small, I
and the
think.
9.
I think small betting is fine.
Yeah, I think it's mostly check and then some bet small.
So the higher the board, the more you bet small, the lower the board, the more you polarize. So this one is pretty low.
Medium.
I believe this is a bet. I don't know why.
Well,
You
Louis,
got a
this is,
check here.
this is going to mix. There's going to be some checks in there.
I
Okay.
mostly check and then some bet small. It's your worst, one of your
Oh,
worst
yeah,
nines.
You're gonna bet that small. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Call?
you're
You have
gonna
to
you're gonna
call.
start wanting to bet a 9 when you have an 8 or better in your hand, because you're gonna have straight interaction and straight blocks.
Yeah.
Blocking the
Oh,
nuts on the river really
easy
feels like
call.
this is a call, yeah.
Easy call.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
Bro,
calling, I hate it.
Oh my goodness, what is this?
So far,
The
it
jack
seems
What
like,
four,
is
oh my
this?
god.
Whose fault is this?
so far, it seems like when Louis was the most confident, that's when he was wrong.
Yeah, every time. You know what? In game, I can't even call here. Because there's a rule that says I can't call any river bets. Cause, yeah. So
this is-
here, blind against blind with a 9 here, jeez.
Yeah, this is
We
this
call
is the
every
9 that
9, but
you
not the
fold.
9-4.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Yeah. Every 9, not the 9-4.
You need him to be bluffing the 4.
Wow. I would have thought that the blocking the straight would have been the best call with our nines.
Okay, I'm thinking about it again.
Every time Joey that we got into this spot, every time we have a good straight blocker, it considers it as a bluff card. And it's a bad one.
I'm thinking about is though there's two straight draws on the turn. There's stuff wrapped around jack and 9, and there's stuff wrapped around 3 and deuce. And I bet you that his overbet is the bluffs are wrapping around jack and 9. That's my prediction based on these results. It's like maybe he has like queen 8 or something.
Alright. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up on this.